They already started with this bullshit.
What you talking about?
When I saw it in the Clarion Ledger, I see Booger McFarland and suggested that Florida State should hire Coach Prime as early as next year. He should be the next head coach of Florida State. As they quoted him saying, they said that he basically like Florida State and Deion Sanders are on a collision course. So I screenshot that shit. I put that shit out, put on Instagram, and I was like, so it begins. Because we knew this shit was going to happen. As soon as this man starts showing that he can recruit, soon as it starts showing that he can win, they coming. They coming for him.
Right.
And folks in the media who doubted him, as Booger McFarland said, he didn't know at first. He didn't even know if Prime was serious about being a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but now that you see he's serious, you think automatically the man should go to Florida State. So before I, say what I got to say about this, and I have something to say about this, I want to know, do y'all think that Prime will be the head coach at his alma mater, Florida State, next year? T, I'll go to you first.
That was a very bad move by you, going to me first. Let me tell you why. Has anyone in America ever trusted a booger? No, this is a real question. Now I'm just asking. Well, what do you normally do when you got one in your nose? You just get it on out, right? You get some tissue, you blow it out, clear it out, make holler at your homie, go, hey man, got something in my nose, man.
Right.
Good, I'm straight. That's what we doing right now. Ain't nobody got time for this. Tell you what, we ain't got no time for this. Because Booger McFarland ain't gave me good commentary in 3 years. When they tried him on the Monday Night Football segment, he didn't work out. So at the end of the day, he really ain't that nice. So I don't really trust nothing he talking about. It sounds good. Yeah, Prime going back to his alma mater. It's great. That's newsworthy. Booger may be just trying to hold on to a job. That may be the case. He's just trying to hold on to work. That's fine. I ain't got no problem with you hold on to work. Just don't mess with this right here. This right here different. Look, it ain't my fault Norvell lost Jacksonville State the other weekend. That ain't my fault.
That's what happened.
Mike Norvell was nice at Memphis, quote unquote. He got what was the QB name they got to Denver? Peyton Lynch. Was it Peyton Lynch? Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch. They got him work. Mike Norvell got Paxton Lynch work. Where he at now? So he doing his job. He good. Mackenzie Milton is a success story. He's a story of a miracle. The leg break that young man underwent and to be on this football field playing is a miracle. But you know what, though? Mike Norvell should have beat Notre Dame first weekend of college football season. That was his job, and he didn't do it. They should have beat Notre Dame that weekend. That would have changed the whole trajectory of that whole season. That ain't my fault. You hired Mike Norvell. Don't come running over here talking about what Prime could do for you now. Because I'm willing to bet Prime probably interviewed them. That's just a guess. I ain't got no inside information. But I'd be willing to bet his alma mater had to show him a little bit of love and get a man an interview.
And if they didn't, that's even more egregious.
That's even more egregious. So, what we talking about right now? But again, I go back to the question I want to ask America. Have you ever trusted a booger? And if you have, let us know in your comments, YouTube. We here, we out here. Let us know what you're feeling. Because at the end of the day, I don't trust none of mine. I put them in tissue, I throw them in the toilet, I flush them. That's what I do.
So Booger McFarland's comments should be flushed at this point.
Who listens to Booger McFarland? This ain't Ryan Clark. This ain't Marcus Spears. That ain't none of them.
I bet they feel the same way though. Because you got Ryan Clark at LSU, boy.
He ain't
You
going there.
got Marcus Spears. I don't know what Spears go. I don't know what.
Spears for
school
the
he-
LSU. He LSU boy.
Oh, both of them LSU boys.
Both of them
Okay,
LSU guys. Yes,
that's
sir.
true. That is true.
Yes,
That's right.
sir.
That's right. That's
Both
right.
LSU guys.
I wonder how I wonder how all these guys feel because these are black men who worked for these PWIs. But they see what Prime doing. I do wonder what they think. Cause they coming from black families where they got folks that went to these HBCUs. I wonder,
Exactly.
do they want to see Prime make that jump to his alma mater? Do they want to see him ride it out? Joe, what you think, man? Do you think Prime will go to Florida State next year?
If they, let's just be under the assumption that they would offer him the job.
Okay.
Do you remember what I said before the spring season?
What's that?
I said, give him the spring season. I said, if he has a really good fall season, he may be gone. I said that. But I hope not. I hope not. But I just really, I know Prime says he's here to stay. He says that, basically, God has put this on his path. That's what he said.
That's what he said now.
I'm
glad you brought
that
that
he
up.
has things to do. I'm just saying that it's possible that God out there, he has a really good year. God say, you have done the task, you can move on. That's a possibility.
Now to say you ain't had to go that route with it. I didn't know you were going that route with it, Joe.
I'm just saying, I really don't. I want him to stay. But that's gonna be attractive. Let's just be honest. Now that's a lot of hoopla around it. Deion going back to Florida State. Now, let's be honest. Florida State wants to get back on the map where the Florida State game is back in the spotlight. Yeah. It's not the early game. Yeah. They want to get back to that. They looking at Deion, they're like, hold on, this guy can't recruit. Clearly, he could get these players to come here. But as far as Booger McFarland saying it, I don't put any credence to what he's saying. But sometimes all you need is that little couple droplets of snow to start sticking, and then it turns into a big snowball. And then you'll have Deion linked to USC before you know it.
Well, they already did.
Wait,
right. I'm on Clarion Ledger right now. Headline: Jackson State football coach Deion Sanders shuts down USC rumor.
I'm just saying.
Folks are already trying to link him to.
You finna have his name linked to every head coach opening position there is.
I can't have him linked to snow though.
And this was Reggie Bush who recommended that.
Look,
I don't listen to Reggie Bush.
If Jerry Jones fires McCarthy this year, you're gonna have Deion linked to the Cowboys.
That's probably true.
That's just where we are.
But Joe, come on.
I hope Deion stays. I hope Coach Prime stays.
Don't you
I gotta stop calling him Deion because he just might leave off that.
Don't you think
Coach Prime stays?
But don't you think though, with everything that he has put in motion in place and just here he talking about putting names on the back of jerseys and all this stuff. I just seen something the other day. Rich Eisen, NFL Network guy that worked with Deion. I mean, in a very, very huge manner. He basically spoke about the fact that Prime basically was hot with the NFL and the Hall of Fame because they told him he basically said, I wasn't coming to the introduction of the Hall of Fame members. I'm gonna coach these kids. And Eisen was like, that's why I respect Deion, because he said, I'm not gonna look these kids in the eye and say, hey man, I gotta go get me. Y'all go ahead and do what y'all do with Coach Overhill, because that's his name, Coach Overhill. And y'all get back to me. I'll see y'all on Monday. No. He didn't do that.
Yeah, no, that's real.
So the respect, the revere, that the reverence there, where you were like, man, coach was here for me when something great was going down for him. The selflessness, kids will respect that no matter what. So when you put a lot of stuff out here that you put out here in the last 2 years, year and a half, whatever, and now you talking about, man, Florida State looked good to me. I mean, how can you make kids respect that? I mean, your track record is there. You know what I'm saying?
And let me say this. Maybe I'm taking this type of stance to guard my heart, just in case.
I understand that.
What if Deion says, in a season, you got to have somebody that plants the seed, but then somebody else that comes behind and waters it, right? So then, if you spin it that way, it'll be like, okay, Deion plants the seed. Now he can move on, and somebody else comes behind. Maybe I'm guarding my heart because I want him to stay.
Yeah,
Right.
you go.
I want him to stay, but I'm just saying.
Okay, man.
I know we say Dalen Baldwin went back home, but you can't also tell me he ain't look at it and say and have the same mindset that many players have. This Big Ten school want me. I'm finna get seen.
Maybe.
Understand it. Great point. Great points all the way around. This is the part of the quote from Booger McFarland that got me. And I think this is why Prime should stay and ride it out. I think he should never leave Jackson State. And this is why. Booger McFarland says he was skeptical of Prime at first. Okay. Just like I'm sure Florida State was. Florida State boosters were. Even though this man is the best player ever came through there. Undoubtedly. And as Booger said, arguably the most famous alum they got. I'm sure it's folks that were skeptical. But then this is next part. He's shown that he wants to do all the work. Okay. Yes, he's still flashy. He's still Coach Prime. And I think as he gets more experience, he will continue to know when he can be Coach Prime and when he has to be the coach of XYZ, whatever that school is, because there's a difference. One, I'm promoting me and my brand. The other, I'm promoting the school in which I work for. You can promote your brand, I think, at Jackson State. But when you go to a Power 5 school, it's about the school. I think Deion, he'll get all of that.
This is Booger talk.
This Booger McFarland.
Go ahead.
That's that kind of shit I'm talking about right there. First of all, your son in Jackson State.
Right.
You're making it seem like they just happy to have you, Deion. They'll let you do whatever the fuck you want to do down there. But Florida State, they ain't gonna let you do all that shit. There's a difference. You know what the difference is? Black folks, we love our motherfucking people. Now, Jackson State or not, if Prime getting his ass whooped out there, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about what he did for the Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Cowboys, and none of that shit. But as long as he out there winning, folks gonna embrace the Coach Prime docuseries. We're gonna embrace him rocking the chains and staying fresh and doing all that kind of shit. And him saying, play my theme music and doing that shit. Because that's our culture. That's our culture. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I think he should stay and ride this bitch all the way out and really enhance his legend. Because if he gets the FSU job and goes there, recruits well.
How?
But can't, well, with his charisma and a bigger bag, that their budget, their recruiting budget so astronomical, he'll be able to recruit.
You think he'll walk right in and out recruit Clemson?
It depends on
how
he's
gonna get him a run for his money.
It depends on the boosters. All that shit is about who can get the boosters to open up a checkbook.
But this is why I say those big time Florida guys coming out of Florida, they'll go to Florida State if Deion is the head coach.
Florida State already a name. He's a name. They see how he relating to his players there. Baldwin ain't had nothing bad to say about him. Like the kid that went to Alabama A&M, I would love to hear what his take is. He might have other things to say, but seem like folks fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? I believe he could be the man got the number 55 recruiting class in the whole country at Jackson State.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, what I'm saying is Booger McFarland acting like he would have to go and be corporate at Florida State. Hell, he wasn't corporate in the league. He wasn't corporate. Him being Deion Sanders is what made him prime time, what got him paid. Him being Deion Sanders, all these shows. Him being Deion Sanders was making kids want to come to Jackson State right now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? His magnetism. So you saying he gonna know if he's coach of X, Y, and Z. There's gonna be a difference. Man, fuck that shit. Stay with your people, bro. And I know this is different level. Okay. Because we ain't got the millions involved and all that kind of shit. But I've been through this kind of shit when I was in the classroom. I had these schools that are predominantly white high schools. Well, I was being recruited to go teach at those schools where these kids weren't coming from struggle, and they telling me, well, you're not gonna have to break up all these fights like that, or your kids, you're not gonna be teaching juniors who are for the most part struggling readers like that. And your test score is good now. You're gonna have a 100% if you come over here. And I'm like, nah, because this is where I'm needed. These are my people. This is where I'm appreciated. This is who I want to help. This is where I need to be. And as long as I was in that classroom, that's who I stayed with. I ain't leave and go to somewhere else. I could go on to Madison Central, which is, if you from Mississippi, you know what I'm talking about. I ain't go to Germantown, or I had the opportunity to go to Kosciuszko High School. I ain't do none of that shit. I stayed with my motherfucking people. Now, that's what I think Prime should do. And if he really wins big there, let's say he wins not only the SWAC or a black college championship. Let's say he reels off FCS championships, wins the whole fucking thing, and then able to move Jackson State to a next level to where they are in the same kind of position that Louisiana Monroe is in, or Louisiana Tech, Southern Miss. Maybe they don't join the SEC or no shit like that, but they're able to move into a even bigger conference. Yeah. Can you imagine his 30 for 30 then?
Can you imagine trusting a Booger? I keep going back to it. You can't trust it.
But if Booger's saying that to you, that lets you know what other folks in sports media think. Like we just said, Reggie Bush throwing him out there to USC. Booger. Like he ain't got no connection to USC.
Now the Reggie Bush thing, I didn't see that. Only thing I saw Joel Klatt.
That's hot now.
Joel Klatt said that about him hitching USC ought to make the call to Deion. He was one of the names when Clay Helton left USC. He was one of the names that he recommended USC ought to call. Okay, cool. But Booger McFarland, again, I just said what I said, and I mean that. I don't trust nothing the dude say. So if that was Marcus Spears, that might be different.
Well, the guy in the gun, they agree with him. So I'm just saying that just lets you know. I know we don't think highly of his commentary because he was terrible on Monday Night Football.
I don't think highly of his nothing.
But that lets you know what's being said in these circles. Prime name is being circulated in these circles for these jobs.
Only because of what?
Because he's proven he can fucking recruit.
He can recruit. Exactly. And that's the first step of it. Okay, like Prime can recruit, he can get these kids in here. And again, Rich Eisen said it best. He said, again, in a climate in which you need to be able to relate to kids, he does it. Right, wrong, or indifferent, he does it. So now that Prime has proven, because that's probably the knock early on, was that he couldn't prove to them without getting the job that, hey, I can relate to these kids. I can get these kids in here. But now you don't want Jackson State and put a 55th ranked recruiting class or whatever the number is, and without the recruiting money that all these schools below him got, and now we want to start hitching our wagon to Prime. Like if I'm Prime, like you said, Wells, talking about the teaching thing, I wouldn't move. F y'all. Like y'all didn't want me. Back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot, y'all on me. That's the way I'm.
That what Mike Jones said.
That what Mike Jones said. So let's keep it moving. I'm finna whoop everybody that missed me. Everybody that missed me, I'm finna start putting hands on. Somebody finna catch these hands. Louisiana Monroe, USM. That's all my motto, but that's neither here nor there. Anybody finna get some straightening. It don't matter who.
I already said some of these 3 stars, some of these boys on that all-state team that be like 3 stars and shit that be going to Southern Miss. Prime should be getting all the motherfuckers now.
No doubt. He should be coaching Frank Gore Jr. He should be coaching Frank Gore Jr.
He should be coaching my young boy and Tavius Willis. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And they'll shit. I might have suggested, goddamn it, he should get in the transfer portal, goddamn make a move or something. Cause this shit getting crazy down there. But America, y'all chime in and tell us what y'all think. Do y'all think Prime would be at Florida State next year, or I think Booger McFarland said next year or within the next 2 years? Put it on something. My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit Statement Tees, LLC.com and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.